Hello everyone, this is Philosopher and welcome to another video on revert stories. In this video, we'll briefly analyze how Jordan M., who's a convert to Islam, feels a deep connection with Allah. So, let's go.
When I converted to Islam, the first year, it was kind of developing, learning more about the attributes of Allah, who is Allah. Obviously, you believe Allah exists, you submit to Allah.
It's interesting that he already accepted the truth of Allah and submits to Him before even knowing the attributes of Allah. It sounds like faith, however, I'll be interested to know his story as to what caused him to have such conviction even before comprehending what Allah is.
But the connection does grow over time, and for me, Umrah was really, I don't know, something happened. I'm not a person for really kind of these kind of, sometimes when you hear Christians talk about the experiences they had with Jesus, that's not, I'm not that sort of person, but I certainly had an experience.
He realizes that his experience is similar to that of Christians, but he sort of brushes it off on the side, probably because he also realizes that his experience is no different than that of Christians. He doesn't want to put a critical eye to his own beliefs and religious experiences. It would be interesting to know from him as to why he legitimizes his personal experience over that of Christians who may come to a different conclusion based on their personal experiences, as he rightly observed.
In Umrah, where it was in Rauda. So there's a part in the Prophet's Masjid in Medina where you queue up, you do 2 rakahs in, there's a green carpeted area as opposed to red like everything else. And they say it's like praying in Jannah. And I remember being really flustered because, you're getting pushed on the way that it's packed. When my forehead hit the green carpet, tears, and I just remember this real feeling of no matter what happens in my life, I have Islam and I have Allah. And that is, the most powerful feeling that you can ever have. And I've kept it since.
So he had a personal experience where he went for Umrah, which is an Islamic pilgrimage to Mecca. And he says that he remembered this real feeling of no matter what happens in life, he has Islam and Allah. Look, life is tough. It's very difficult. And he's convinced himself that he has Allah by his side to get through life and possibly hereafter. This is one of the common themes across religious folks where religion provides them with this assurance that God is watching over them. Of course, different people imagine different gods overlooking them, so they can't all be true. What's true though is that such convictions may help you get through life thinking that things will be just fine. It's a coping mechanism. It's a mental trick. Having a personal experience means subjectively feeling certain emotions in your mind, and it's natural for humans to get overwhelmed by things that they find meaningful. However, this is not evidence of the truth of their convictions. Just because Jordan feels these emotions doesn't mean that there exists a relationship in reality with an entity called Allah. It just means that he's attributing these feelings to Allah. People from all walks of life have these overwhelming feelings about something that they find meaningful. However, the mistake that people make is that from those feelings is to attribute it to something that they feel is causing these feelings. For example, Allah, Krishna, Jesus, etc. This is called cognitive bias, where individuals create their own subjective reality from their perception of the input. Here's a lady feeling similar emotions and attributing them to Jesus.
Repeating itself. Though we were far apart, you came running with open arms. And I just see oh my gosh, sorry. It's very intense. This is very intense, but I just saw a vision of Jesus on the cross, and I was just praying, I was just praying, and I just saw a vision of Jesus on the cross. And all my life, whenever I saw him on the cross like that, I saw him as defeated, but he just kind of showed me a glimpse of him on the cross, and I don't know how to explain it, but in that moment, God just showed me his love. It sounds crazy, y'all. I sound crazy, but he just showed me his love. I just felt an overwhelming love where I would not know how to explain it to you. I couldn't love my own child like that. And I just kind of heard his thoughts on the cross, and it was insane, girl. I didn't know oh my gosh. Okay, I knew, but I didn't know. Okay, so that was a significant moment where I was like, dang God, you really love me, and you were not defeated on that cross. You defeated our sins on that cross.
Now, this lady is convinced that Jesus defeated our sins on that cross and even had a personal experience about it. But I'm sure Jordan wouldn't hesitate to dismiss her evidence as just imaginary because he believes in Islam, which postulates that Jesus didn't die on the cross for our sins. This is where the cognitive bias kicks in. Here's Jordan Peterson, similarly feeling deep emotions for Christ.
And so in some sense, I believe it's undeniable. You know, we have a narrative sense of the world. For me, that's been the world of morality. That's the world that tells us how to act. It's real. Like, we treat it like it's real. It's not the objective world. But the narrative and the objective world touch. And the ultimate example of that, in principle, is supposed to be Christ. But I don't know what to... that seems to me oddly plausible.
Here's another person who feels such deep emotions for the Sadhguru.
Not even a moment during the program I felt that he's not there. I felt his presence is always there, and I felt he was just carrying me in his lap.
If you haven't noticed the pattern yet, people perhaps feel an existential angst, and when they find some way of life that's meaningful for them, they connect with it and may falsely attribute it to something that they think is the cause of these emotions. Of course, all this could be much easily explained by the fact that we have confirmation biases, and when we feel powerful emotions and experiences, we tend to interpret those experiences in a way that confirms or supports our prior beliefs or values. I've linked an article from American Psychological Association that talks about a reason to believe, where religion may fill the human need for finding meaning, sparing us from existential angst, while also supporting social organization. I've also linked an article from Psychology Today titled, When God Becomes a Therapist. Both the links could be found in the description box below. With that said, if you enjoy my content, kindly subscribe to my channel and help me spread the word. Peace out.